Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mystic Path. This will be your full moon in Virgo reading. I channeled some messages. We're also going to read from the Moonology Oracle cards. We have two new decks that we are excited to use on the channel here. We're going to pull from those today. We're going to pull a couple crystal cards, and we'll probably pull a couple from the Energy Oracle deck. Okay, so let's get started. I will try not to make this one very long. If you have not already seen or checked out the March energy update for the entire month, you should go check that out. That you'll probably find very informative. I did. We're gonna try to keep this short and sweet for the full moon. So let's get right in. Before we do, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if this resonates. We're trying to grow, so if you're getting messages, please let me know. Please share. Thank you so much. Okay, so full moon in Virgo happening March 7th, 2023. As always, time is not a thing, right? It's a human creation. So if you're finding this video at any other time, it's finding you when you're meant to hear these messages, okay? So I made some notes here. Full moon in Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. Ooh, that reminds me. If you don't know who Amanda Ellis is, check her out. We're going to use some of her earth elemental spray to get us into the earth energy. It's amazing spray. Okay, so this is the worm moon. We've talked about that before on this channel. The indigenous people, natives to the land, used to name the moons based on what was happening, right? The strawberry moon because strawberries were coming ripe. The wolf moon because a lot of wolves were coming out and howling and mating and all of that. This is called the worm moon because there was a reemergence of bugs, earthworms, etc. from the cold winter ground, right? Which then brought on birds, which then brought on spring. So, moon is in Virgo, sun is in Pisces, okay? Pisces represents intuition and spirituality. Virgo represents your daily routine, your physical health, your work, your external reality, okay? So for this full moon, we're going to kind of have some fantasy delusional energy matching up with some grounded, stable earth energy, okay? So these two energies will need each other at this time, because think about it, if you just have this fantastical, fantasy, delusional thinking, and there's nothing to ground it into reality, then like you never reach your goals. You're just always living in fantasy land, right? Which nobody wants to just live in well, I mean, fantasy land could probably be fun. Sorry, I'm pulling the table back, hopefully. Okay. So this full moon is going to bring in energy that's going to sharpen the details of your reality, right? Full moons kind of reveal things to us. They bring us things that we need to work on or deal with out of ourself, right? So this full moon is going to sharpen the details of our reality by revealing what in our life still needs cleaning, fixing, nurturing, organizing, evolving. Whatever area of our life that needs to move forward, the energy coming with this full moon is going to force that forward movement, right? If you watch the March energy update, we talk about grow or go. We're in an energy now of game on, grow or go. Either you're going to grow forward, move forward, evolve forward, or you're going to have to go because it's time for humans to level up, okay? Okay, this full moon is sorry, a little tongue-tied, going to act a little bit as a checkpoint for, like a check-in, like kind of like a spring cleaning with yourself about your routines, your relationships with the people around you, your relationship with your work life. Are my routines sustainable? These kinds of things are going to come up for you. Are my routines sustainable? Is this plan sustainable? Right? I'm working with a client now. We're working on putting a program together for her and launching it. And that's one of the things we're always talking about. This is a 12-month program. Is it going to be sustainable? Can you work at this fast of a pace every month for 12 months? Or will exhaustion set in? Will fatigue, right? So those are things you have to consider. I know at my age now, I don't nearly work the pace and the hours I used to. And that's just because, one, I'm older and wiser, and two, my body can't do some of the things I did 20 years ago. Those are just facts, right? So, yeah. There's going to be, with this full moon, new opportunities for us to like level up in our physical health, in our emotional health, in our mental health. Are we looking at all of these things? Are we dealing with our issues, facing ourselves? Are we managing our emotions, and properly? And, there is no right or wrong, right? Because everything's a lesson and we learn on the journey. Yada, yada. Okay. However, sometimes we need improvement in places, right? Sometimes we need to fix parts of ourselves that are broken. My girlfriend and I just had a long conversation. We were catching up and I was talking about some things I was going through, and she kind of giggled and was like, man, that programming is in there deep. And I was like, well, I'm 47 years old. I had like 20 plus years of that being drilled into my head by society, by my family. Like, you just don't undo that overnight, right? It takes over and over again dealing with yourself, asking yourself the hard questions. Why is this coming up? Why did I react that way? Obviously, you don't have to overanalyze your whole life, but if something, like if you act outside of yourself, right, then you have to be accountable for that. And you have to kind of face yourself and be like, okay, well, what made me react like that? Was I being triggered? Why did I get so angry? Why did I get so sad, upset, anxious? What did I fill in the blank, right? So this full moon is bringing in energy that's giving us an opportunity to look at these things. And whether we like it or not, it's going to give us clarity. So we're going to have to kind of face these things that come up, right? And that's not always easy. So, one of the messages that came through was, this month, when things get challenging, when you get overwhelmed, you're going to want to breathe through it. Use breathing exercises to get through any anxiety, criticism, self-improvement, right? What I was just talking about. When you're doing self-improvement, it's difficult. It's hard sometimes to face truths about yourself or to make realizations that like, oh, I never should have said that to that person, or I treated that person bad, whatever it is, right? That stuff's not always easy. It causes us grief sometimes. It causes anxiety, overwhelm. In those moments, you kind of need to sit and breathe through it and just remember that everything is happening for the highest good. Everything that happens in my life is not happening to me, right? People seem to think life is happening for me or to me. Like, I'm a victim of my life. These things just happen to me. That's not life is an energy responsive game. So life is not happening to you. Sorry, I just shook the camera. Life is not happening to you. It's responding to you. Okay? So how it's kind of that whole, for every action there is a reaction, right? So things around you are responding based on your energy and how your energy is. Is it anxious? Is it angry? Is it happy? Is it, all the things. So just keep that in mind, right? I know it's easy as humans to get in that victim mode. Like, why is this happening to me? Life is happening to me. I didn't have a choice in this. And I say this from personal experience, okay? I think every human being in their life at some point goes through a stage of like victim mode. Like, oh, poor me. Like, why does this have to happen to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this, right? And the truth of the matter is nothing, like the universe, like I'm just one small little speck of a person. The universe is not going to make the whole world treat me a certain way, right? That's just absurd. And it's actually quite egocentric and narcissistic to think that. To think like, it's all happening to me, I'm such a victim. No. For every action, there was a reaction. For every thought, belief, pattern, behavior you have, life and energy around you responds to that, right? So we have to start with that. We have to remember that because there are times where there are legitimate victims, okay? That's fact. And in those situations, the energy is responding to how you will handle that victim moment, right? So I know it's hard, and it's like, well, why do good, it brings us into a whole much longer video, which is like, why do bad things happen to good people? And that's because like we're here to learn, right? This is like one big school, and humans are put here to learn, and you have to learn it all, right? Life is a spectrum of things. You have like super crazy, dramatic, effed up, evil things over here, and then over here is like benevolence, happiness, joy, harmony, right? And everyone is somewhere on this spectrum. You don't have we couldn't all just be in harmony. Things would be out of balance. You couldn't all just be in the messiness of it. Things would be out of balance. So we just have to remember that, like, to some degree, everyone is experiencing challenges in their life, because that's what we're here for, right? Grow or go, grow or go. Okay? Now, I talked a little bit earlier. Pisces energy has a very dreamy, fantastical, kind of like delusional haze about it. And it can sometimes be very unrealistic, Pisces. The earth energy that's coming in with Virgo is bringing in the clarity and refinement to ground these fantasies into reality, right? Because we have to have some clarity and refinement. We have to have that grounding energy to pull all these like fantasies and delusions down to earth to make them in the physical reality, right? So the good news is that even though this full moon might be a little rough because we have emotional and mental and physical health things that are going to be coming up for each of us, also on a larger collective level as well. This Virgo energy is going to help us. This is going to help us ground our goals and fantasies and things and make them a reality. This energy is a very like work hard, play hard, which is a good thing because it can be a very productive energy if you use it in the right way, right? If you can get into the flow and not overdo it and stay in flow and balance, then you can use this energy and have a very productive time. So I would recommend embracing the energy, right? But again, this full moon does have the potential to have a little bit of an edge. It has the potential to feel like a lack of stability in our emotional processing, which could cause mood swings for some people. And if you're experiencing trouble with processing your emotions around this time, or having mood swings around this time, you're going to want to ground. You're going to want to lean into earth energy. A good way to ground, I've already talked about breathing, right? Just a simple box breath, like 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 out, 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 out. I've demonstrated it before on this channel. Another good thing to do for grounding is just go outside barefoot, walk around barefoot. If you're immobile, you can't walk around, just sit and put your bare feet touching the ground, because the earth and humans have an electromagnetic relationship, and a symbiotic thing happens and goes on. And if you've heard of circadian rhythms, which is like the rhythm of the earth and how our sleep pattern goes with the rhythm of the earth, it's a similar kind of thing. So when you're feeling out of control or emotionally overwhelmed, or having a panic attack, right? One of the best things you can do is get out in nature, hug a tree. I know it sounds silly, but it does help. Sit at the root of a tree and lean your back and head on it, and then breathe. Take a walk, barefoot in the sand, right? Go swim in the ocean. Anything to engage with nature can be very grounding. Okay. Now, let's pull some cards. So I already, from the Moonology deck, I already pulled out the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough, okay? So there's some self-sabotage and stuff coming up, I've noticed. Like I said, I've been working on a couple projects with a couple different clients, and I've noticed in my clients and in myself, imposter syndrome, self-sabotage things coming up, because that's what happens, right? We have doubts, fears, anxieties around the goals we want, and that inevitably is going to have a shadow side, because everything in the world, everything in life has a light side and a shadow side, right? And so the shadow side of it is like breathing through it, getting through the self-sabotage, getting through the imposter syndrome, continuing forward with your goals despite those feelings. Because those feelings are just here to challenge us, right? And to say, show me you believe you're worth it. I always say, sometimes you have to show the universe how bad you want something. And by putting a lot of energy and effort and planning and creativity and whatever towards whatever that goal is. And then what did I say earlier? The universe is responding to you. Life is responding to you. So if you do that, then you can get the universal energy to respond to what you're doing and to bring in flow and support what you're doing. I'm sure everyone watching has had a moment in life where it's like things are just really going well and working out, and it's like for several days in a row, everything's just going smoothly, right? That's being in flow. That's how you know you're on the right path, when the universe is supporting you with energy like that things are just happening and organically in flow. That's how you know you're on the right path. When you're on a path where nothing goes right and it's one bad thing after another, or one challenge after another, that's the universe trying to tell you this is not the right path for you. You have free will. If you want to continue down that path, you absolutely can. But the universe will not make it easy for you, because that's not the path that your energy is meant to flow, right? So there's no flow. Things are disruptive and chaotic. And that's how you know, this is not the path for my energy frequency, because things are not happening in flow. Now, I also want to mention, when you're in flow, that you will still encounter challenges, but you will rise to the occasion to overcome those challenges, okay? When you're not in flow, those challenges will feel and seem insurmountable. And no matter how hard you try to overcome them, more challenges will come. That's the difference, okay? There will always be challenges, but you can make life a lot easier on yourself. It's almost like a life hack, right? Because you can tell when things are in flow in your life and when they're not. Okay, you are good enough. So I've been seeing all this imposter syndrome, self-sabotage. A friend and I were talking about it too the other day. So it is coming up and around. I also know just from the March energy update that I did, we're going to have some challenges in our heart chakra. And look at this total green card, right? You are good enough. Has to do with self-worth. It's all green. Heart chakra all day long. One of the things that will help us get through this month of March is feeding our solar plexus. Okay? So do things that boost your confidence, boost your self-esteem. You know, you can look up online, how do I charge my solar plexus chakra? You'll be able to find yoga poses, exercises, breathing exercises, right? You can activate your solar plexus to help keep you strong this month to deal with some of these challenges in our self-worth area, okay? All right. You are good enough. Let's hold the card up here. It says, it's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humbled to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far. And drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? It's time for some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Okay? This is kind of saying what I was just speaking about, which is like, pay attention to the little things. Look for the signs. You'll be able to see if you're in flow or out of flow, right? You'll be able to figure that out. And I mean, it may take you a little time, but trust me, if you sit with yourself a couple times a week and breathe and connect to your intuition, you will find the answers to whatever your specific situation is. Okay? Okay, with that, let's just pull an energy around this full moon. What energy will be supporting us? Because I feel like we've already talked about what the energy around the full moon will be. What energy will support us during this full moon? Oh, first one out. The thinking man, which makes perfect sense, right? Contemplation, reflection, clarity, trying to, ask yourself the hard questions, figure out what can I do better to grow in this area? How can I let go of this anxiety? How can I let go of this fear? One thing I was going to say is that, we were talking about how the full moon is going to bring in all this clarity, right? Well, when that information comes, we have to contemplate it, right? Because you don't just want to not think about it, not make a plan, and just act spontaneously. I mean, in some cases you do, but not really, like if let's just use it as an example. You're looking at your relationship with your job. Do you still love your job? Does it fulfill you? Are you working too many hours and missing out on family time? Whatever it is, right? If that's the thing you're being faced with, you can't just, when you get the clarity, I'm unhappy at my job. If you have like a family to support and bills to pay, you can't just be like, okay, well, I am unhappy at my job. I'm quitting my job, right? Because you have bills and things to pay. So you have to plan and set goals and then, do research and look for other jobs that are out there and then work towards quitting your job and finding something that fulfills you, right? So the energy that's going to support all these messages coming in is like slow down and think about it, right? Make sure you think through and you're strategic about whatever messages are coming in, whatever goals you're trying to move forward, because we're going to ground all of these goals into reality. And trust me, I have worked for myself and run a business for the last 23 years. There needs to be planning and strategy to it if you want to be successful. So anything you do, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to think about it, contemplate it, think about how is the best way to approach this? What is the best way to get from here to there? All right. We're going to use these female archangel cards. Let's see what archangel is supporting us during this full moon. Whoop. This is a new deck, so they're not as easy to, there we go, come out yet, because they're still fairly new, but we got one here. Archangel Ariel, connect with nature. Okay, I was saying that earlier. When it gets too much, if you're overwhelmed, if you're moody, if you're having trouble processing and managing your emotions, we've all been there, connect with nature. Okay, let's read this. 24, Archangel Ariel. Like I said, new deck. So, all right. Alrighty. All right. Again, look at this card. All green. Also, thinking man, green. Moon, we've already talked about being green. Okay? Heart chakra all over the place. And this is like a heart chakra activator. I can tell right here by looking at it. Look at that. Ooh, right out of the solar plexus too. Wasn't I saying earlier? We're going to need a strong solar plexus this month. Okay? Archangel Ariel, connect with nature. The message is your being is undergoing a great change, making you extra sensitive. Come into nature to center yourself. Archangel Ariel, whose name reflects divine lion, serves on the orange and green ray of acceptance, fortitude, and nature with his counterpart, Archaea strength. Ariel, also known as Ariel, reminds us that when we connect with nature, we reconnect to ourselves. While energetic support is always present, Ariel guides that you don't need to depend on angels for bringing you magic. For magic is here on earth, within nature, and within you. Take regular breathers outside. Chat with the nature spirits. Create a fairy garden or nature altar. Get a pet or enjoy time with the animals you have. Nurture your houseplants and crystals. Look to the interconnectedness of wildlife in your area and surrounding countryside. Witness the magic and miracles in your everyday, knowing you are part of this oneness. Invite in Archangel Ariel for animal and elemental communication, bravery, environmentalism, expansion of the base chakra, manifestation, and reflecting oneness. So good. I mean, you guys, and if you watch the March energy update, one of the crystals for March is green aventurine, okay, which is sitting right here with all these other green cards. Green aventurine is also a very good emotional grounder. So if you're experiencing any of the things we talked about with having trouble processing your emotions, feeling overwhelmed, having mood swings, get a piece of green aventurine and carry it with you. Put it in your pocket, put it in your bra, your purse, whatever. Okay? Get a bracelet, a necklace, earrings. It's a great emotional grounder. Okay, now we're going to pull from our other new deck, which is the Secret Woods. This was gifted to us over the holidays, and we love it. It's beautiful. Also, the whole back of it is very green. Fitting. Okay. Okay. What do we need to know about this full moon? What do we need? How about, what is the advice for this full moon? Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. Just one, they say. The advice is gifter. Nurture your ability to thrive. Okay, hold on. Let's read the book here. Let's find. Nurture your ability to thrive. The gifter adds the final golden details to the chrysalis pendant. The helper bees drop herbs into a brewing brine, and warmth emanates within the den on the coldest of winter days. The gifter is a reminder that no matter how constricted, cold, or unabundant life gets, there is always a reason to be grateful. When something unfair happens to you, it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. But do not let it go on too long. Light some candles, cry it out, write down what hurts. Don't risk turning into a victim of the situation, but instead become a survivor. What you do not have can simply be replaced by what you do have right now. Take the time to nurture your talents and interests to develop your love for this life. Build a busy workshop in a place that feels like nothing ever happens, and you'll be astonished by what you are capable of. Okay, interesting. Also, one of the other crystals that came out that's good in the March energy update is lapis lazuli, and this card has a blue outline. Okay, they all don't have blue outlines, I don't think. So, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, so get yourself one of these too. All right, so this speaks on what I was saying earlier about being a victim of your own life. It's okay if you're the victim of something to cry it out, to write it down, to journal it, but just don't hold on to it. Don't carry it through your life, right? That's a very heavy weight to carry. So this is saying, like, don't be the victim, be the survivor. I can definitely see where we got some heart chakra upgrading happening. I've already talked about 2 crystals. Let's just see from our crystals deck, is there any other crystal around this full moon that would be helpful? Okay. Okay. So, lepidolite, which is a purple stone. I have some beads. I don't have them here handy. And hematite, which makes perfect sense. Hematite is very good for like absorbing negativity, overthinking, etc. So add these two stones. Breathe in your trueness. Again, that's more validation on the breath work this month will be very helpful. Breath work, breath work, breath work. Anchor in, which is grounding, grounding, grounding. Hematite, okay? We're going to leave it there. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, week, weekend, whatever it is for you. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Love you, soul family. Namaste.